guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Wednesday, August 23rd. Again, dead middle of nowhere summer, but we somehow have plenty of content. If you guys tune in,
over a month.
Yeah, we're close. We're getting there. We're getting there to some stuff, but
we're like 3/4 of the way through. We were like having like a circle jerk at the beginning of the month. We were like, yeah, we've been doing so good, whatever. And then I was like, yeah, we have 2 more months of this. We're halfway through.
Well, Summer League gave us false hope because we grinded through Summer League. We had plenty of stuff. And then I think we underestimated how much dead time. We did. The game show we did was fun. If you tuned into the game show, we appreciate you. If you haven't seen it, it's up as a video on our channel now or as a live stream.
A lot of people watch it, just
find it
all over the place.
Yeah, it's uploaded everywhere. You'll find it places. But if you haven't seen it yet, we had the first of the floor guys on the program. We did a game show with them. Shout out to the winner, who I won't name because go watch it. You should go find out for yourself. I almost did it, and I was like, wait a second.
We'll be
people a reason.
Talking to them tonight, live, CLNS at 8 p.m. as you're listening to
this
Thursday. So
you said we're recording this on Wednesday. Sam said tonight, and I had a little panic attack run through my heart because I thought he meant tonight. Actually, I was like, wait,
Jack
did we
just
miss
doesn't
something?
know about the movie magic of publishing the next day.
No, Jack just forgets what day it is sometimes. So
literally every time we do a show, you forget. You have to look at the phone.
I know. Well, it's because I don't have like. I always say I don't have an actual job, but just writing is my job. So I just sit at my desk all day. So days blend together because I don't get weekends either. I just sit here and write and do the same thing every day. So it gets, I'm not complaining. It's just I struggle to remember.
Weekends. I used to not take them, but I was like, no, I need to have days where I just relax.
Yeah, maybe I do that. I've started laxing a little bit on weekends, but it's a grind, man. You got to do what you got to do. But we have Celtics content for you guys today. The first of which is Blake Griffin talking about the Celtics. We'll start with this because I wanted to talk about it. I feel like I kind of sparked the conversation, not to pat myself on the back, but I tweeted about this. So Blake Griffin joined the Foreplay Pod, which is Barstool's golf channel, which I very much enjoy. He was with Dan Rappaport, and they played 9 at Mine, which is where Dan basically goes around and plays 9 holes with celebrities and other people at their home course. And Blake Griffin is a member of this country club in LA, I believe it is. And Dan is also a member there. So they played 9 holes. And throughout the round and the 9 holes, Dan asked them questions about, their life. And so he asked Blake about his career, his start with the Clippers, Chris Paul. He asked, are you retiring? And he was like, I don't know. We'll see. And then he asked him about Boston. And Blake was very hyped when he mentioned Boston. And I tweeted it, the video of them, and a lot of people liked it. Dan, Foreplay Pod itself liked the tweet. Trent and Dan from Barstool.
Wow.
Jamal Crawford liked the tweet, which is very weird. I was like, why?
Jack just reporting on who likes his tweets. I don't see any, hey, will you come on the podcast? Acknowledge me.
All right. It's not all about the podcast, but no, it was... I tweet this and I see a lot of people it gaining traction, and then I start seeing pop up. So I'm like, I kind of saw the opportunity because I watched this channel anyway. So I tweeted the video and I was glad to see people picked it up. But Blake Griffin basically saying verbatim, dude, Boston is unbelievable. Living in Boston, playing in Boston was one of the best experiences. And I wasn't even playing a lot of minutes. The fans are incredible. The team, just having that championship focused environment. They do everything they can to be the best. He talked a lot about Tatum, about how Tatum's a great guy on and off the court, talks to everybody, very personable, and obviously a superstar. So everything Blake said says, I loved being in Boston and playing for the Celtics, which is great. Report came out today from, I think, Sam Amico. I saw, it was Amico.
Yes.
I know there's 2 Amicos, and I always get confused. That the Celtics, Sixers, Clippers, and Warriors have shown an interest in Blake Griffin. So we'll have to see what shakes out. But from his speech or his appearance on the Foreplay Pod, which is just, he played 9 holes of golf. Go check it out on their channel. He likes the Celtics, which is good to hear.
Yeah, I thought Blake Griffin's take on the Celtics was really interesting because he's been a guy, even way before he came to town, was kind of connected with it. I remember when he was on the Clippers, he was obviously in the building when it was Paul Pierce's last game. And I remember him talking about being impressed with the reception Pierce got when he came back for the final time. So he's always had a little bit of an understanding of what the crowd's like, the atmosphere. But it's always great when you hear guys, especially stars that spent a big bulk of their career somewhere else, praising the city, praising the team,
Yeah.
saying how great it is, because I think it helps the reputation where there are other things that happen that do not help it, such as trading a guy that tore his ACL and never played for you, and he was all excited to play for your franchise and you trade him, or trading the guy that played for 9 years, or trading the guy that played through a hip injury and when his sister passed away. Like there's so many things you can point to be like, the Celtics are scumbags, but then like every once in a while someone's like, hey, it kind of rules to play for them, and everyone's like, yeah, it does rule. The fans are the best. So I'm happy that Blake Griffin likes it here. The fan base obviously likes Blake Griffin. I kind of wrote a small, like a shallow dive for Celtics blog just into the whole situation. Earlier this summer, we heard that the Celtics were interested in bringing him back. It's just a debate whether or not he wants to leave his family for another year on the West Coast. But Blake Griffin was really good for the Celtics when he actually played. And we've talked about this a zillion times in the last 2 weeks. It's the really only looming storyline. But when he started, like 8 points, 5 rebounds, good efficient splits, like he was okay, hustled. He gave the Celtics probably more than they bargained for when they brought him in last summer. So I don't see any reason not to bring him back. He was a good presence on the team. I like him. But the weird thing is it was all past tense, which I guess is accurate because it did happen.
I think it was
But
just
like if
reflecting
you
on
really
the
want to like microscope, crystal ball, tinfoil hat, like it sounds like he could be done playing here too. So I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like he was just reflecting on the year because it happened in the past. I feel like if he's going to resign anywhere, I would hope it would be the Celtics. Like, would he really? What is the draw out? Like, obviously, like you said, being closer to his family. But in terms of a team environment, my point is that seems like the only factor that would take him away from Boston is the family thing, which is a valid reason. I'm not diminishing it, but I don't know. It's good to hear him speak highly of Boston, especially because it seems
On a
like
national platform.
the Celtics have won it back. Yeah, it got a lot of views, and it was good. It was good. Watch, go watch it. Blake Griffin hits the
Go
ball
watch
very far.
Jack's tweet.
No, go watch Foreplay Pod's video. Blake Griffin hammers his drives; they go very far, and it's he's entertaining. He's a character off the court, obviously, which he's made it clear. But anyways, the next piece of Celtics info we have are they're working out some players. The Celtics are bringing in a few guys for workouts. Shams Charania of The Athletic reported that they are going to meet with TJ Warren and Lamar Stevens, and then I believe it was Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype who reported they're also going to be meeting with Lewis King. All three are going to be in Boston for workouts this week, and all are in consideration for a potential contract. And I mean, we can talk about it now. I know when Lamar Stevens got waived by the Spurs, he was somebody I mentioned, I think very randomly and briefly here as somebody I liked.
You definitely dropped him.
just out of nowhere a little bit, but hustle defender. He's 6'6". He's only 26 years old. He's a hustle guy. He's not a great shooter. He likes the mid range a bit more than threes. From what I saw, I know Sam, that would speak to you a little bit, less so to Joe Mazzulla. Very athletic. He's a hustle guy. He killed the Celtics. I distinctly remember. I forget what game it was, and I'll find it while you talk about it.
Might have been the I'm gonna make both game.
Maybe, but he didn't kill them with points. He got like 5 offensive rebounds.
It was definitely that
like
game then
2 minutes.
They couldn't close the game.
Yeah.
I wrote about the 3 candidates for Hardwood Houdini today, and I went in thinking like maybe TJ Warren's the best, and I really thought about it more. And I think I do like Lamar Stevens the best. I think he has just like the potential to be a guy that's helpful no matter what. Because if he's going to bring it on defense, then any added bonus you get on offense is great. But the baseline is you need to play defense. You're not going to hurt the team as much if you're a better defender as opposed to being an offensive-minded player who doesn't play defense. Because you're going to get yourself on the court if you're trying. That's kind of how it goes. And I don't hate that if you look at his basketball reference, yes, the three-point shooting is not good. But each year it's gone up. 16% rookie year, in the 20s second year, last year 31.5% from 3. So steady improvement there, shows a little bit of a work ethic, desire to be better. If the Celtics bring him in, it wouldn't shock me if he's able to get some kind of small role. Does that mean he's going to play in the playoffs? Is he going to be the 8-man rotation? Probably not. But it doesn't mean that he can't play spot minutes, can't be a good option off the bench, especially after losing Smart and Grant Williams. you kind of need a little bit of an extra defensive presence. That was one thing I kind of alluded to in the article. As for the other two, Louis King spent most of his time in the G League with Philly last year, played one NBA game, 32 appearances for the Bluecoats in Delaware. His stats for the G League, 16.5 points, 5 assists, 4-something rebounds, and a steal and a half per game on decent shooting splits. He's a do-everything guy. The Celtics, I'm pretty sure, still have a two-way spot open, so I'd imagine that's really where he comes into play. When we first got the report, it was like, oh, like maybe he's in contention for one of these final two spots, but I would imagine two-way is the way that it's going to go for him if he ends up with the Celtics.
I agree. And for what it's worth, not that he would settle for this, Lamar Stevens is technically eligible for a two-way spot as well, because he has less than 4 years of NBA experience. You could kind of liken it to Cabin Gale signing a two-way deal with Boston after playing real minutes and being on a real standard deal. Just for shits and giggles, I do have I have the exact stats. It was 5 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter. If you're watching on YouTube, we're not gonna.
Yep, this was definitely the I'm gonna make both game because they were up a fuck ton and then they just blew it.
Celtics are currently up 14 points as Lamar Stevens grabs an offensive rebound that nobody on the Celtics go for.
Just play the Hall of the Mountain King as you watch them blow this lead. Like, oh, it's down to 7 now.
So
look at that.
This lead. Lamar Stevens finds another offensive rebound. He had 5 in the fourth quarter,
with
like
4.5 to go, by the way.
Just gets right by Jaylen
offensive
rebound.
These guys are the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate this Celtics team.
Lamar Stevens just killed the Celtics on the offensive glass in the fourth quarter. Celtics are up by 3 with less than 2
where'd the
minutes
lead go?
Step back, and that one was a bit unlucky. I'm not going to call anybody on the Celtics out for that one, but
available.
Lamar Stevens just killed them. He's a hustle guy on the offensive glass and defensive glass. I tweeted out a few highlights that I saw while I was waiting for my brother because I dropped him off at the dentist, and so I was sitting in the car and I got bored, and so I just looked up Lamar Stevens highlights. He likes the mid-range shot. He's a hustle guy. Plays solid defense. That's to me, that's what I'd rather have. Like, TJ Warren's cool, right? And it's cool to think about bubble TJ Warren. What if he could find that again? That's just not how the NBA works. That would be like the Lakers signing a bunch of old guys to go with their core 3 2 years ago. We saw how that worked out. Louis King is interesting, but he's more of a two-way guy, like Sam said. Lamar Stevens has like Sam said, his 3-point shot has steadily improved over the past 3 seasons, as have his minutes. He played 12 minutes, 40 games, 16 minutes, 63 games, 18 minutes, 62 games, but started 25 in them last year for the Cavs, for a pretty good Cavs team. He was in the mix for that. Who was going to start at the small forward spot?
Right.
And the only reason the Cavs let him go is because they were trying to get Max Strus in there, so they had to package him together to make that work. I don't know. He just makes the most sense. He's not old. He's 26 years old. He's 6'6", good size. He's 230, so he's bigger bodied as well. He's kind of like Grant without the 3-point shot.
No, seriously.
A little bit.
All jokes aside, that was the first thing I thought when I was writing about this. I was like, oh, okay. If he learns to shoot threes a little bit, he could fill the Grant role, which is an important role nonetheless. You still need a little bit of size to come off the bench, play defense, and just be steady. That's really it. As for TJ Warren, because I didn't really talk about him, if you're excited about TJ Warren, think about this. The Phoenix Suns traded away their whole team this summer to get Bradley Beal. They had, at one point, I think 5 guys on their roster. They traded for TJ Warren last trade deadline, right?
In the Durant deal, yeah.
In the Durant deal. They did not bring back TJ Warren when they had nobody on their team.
Yeah.
What does that say to you about TJ Warren? It means he's not, he's just not a guy anymore. And it sucks. You hate to see guys fall off. Since that bubble season, he's just been riddled with injuries. He hasn't been able to stay on the court. Last year for the Suns, he barely got minutes. He was like 12 a game, barely played in the playoffs. He just wasn't there. He's not there anymore. I think out of the 3, it's Lamar Stevens. I was writing the article. I ranked the 3 guys. I originally had Warren 1. Then I was like, wait a minute. No. Lamar Stevens is the exciting one. Make no mistake.
Yeah. No, I like Lamar Stevens. I think that'd be my pick. And then also we have here Brian Robb saying, per league sources, the Celtics are doing their due diligence by hosting a number of different workouts ahead of training camp before settling on potential roster options. Brad Stevens signaled last month that adding help on the wing would be a priority before next season. My only thing with that is, do they really need another wing? As much as like it would be cool to have Lamar Stevens, and it wouldn't hurt. Like I would probably like to see them add almost any other position. I mean, they signed O'Shea Brissett. They have Sam Hauser still. They just drafted Jordan Walsh. What is like? Those guys are all fighting for the same minutes when they could just add, a fourth string guard or a fifth string, I guess, behind Delon Bannon, or a fourth string center to share minutes with Luke Cornett. Like, unless they would rather just play with those four bigs that they have, with the big three of them, and including Cornette. And then if one of them's out, just play smaller and faster, which, I mean, it seems like what they wanted to do last year anyways, then that makes sense to just get more wings. And if that's the plan, then sure, like I get it. But I don't know. It's just a bit weird that they're so focused after signing O'Shea Brissett and drafting Jordan Walsh and developing Sam Hauser to get another wing in this mix. It's just weird.
I keep forgetting that they have Jordan Walsh on this team because I'm just like thinking, okay, like who's on the roster last year?
I forget about Sam Hauser.
When you factor in that all of those guys are there, this doesn't make as much sense. But when you forget about one, it's a lot more exciting because you're like, oh yeah, this guy can get minutes.
When
but
you
like,
forget about
yeah, but like seriously,
imagine next year Joe Mazzulla's like, oh Jordan, my bad, bro, I forgot you were there. Let's just
Jordan Walsh has to be the most exciting of the bunch. He showed up in the summer league, like, but I keep forgetting he's on the team because he hasn't actually played a game yet. You don't really need to be gambling on guys at this point. I was gonna like go push back, but like, you're right. Like, okay, bring in like another big guy. Why not? Like all three of those guys are like kind of injury prone. Like Jeff Clark put up the Celtics blog article about like how many games you expect them to play. And it's like, I don't know how many.
Bring in Freed.
Like, yeah, Kenneth Freed. Why is Kenneth Freed not on the list? I tweeted at you last night. I said, where the hell is Kenneth Freed? The hell?
I saw.
Did we not put up propaganda for like anything?
That's what I'm saying. No one listens to us. This is random and it doesn't exactly have to do. You mentioned like, oh, I think Jordan Walsh the most exciting. I agree. I feel like Sam Hauser is somebody a lot of people, at least me, like I forget about. I feel like he could play like 25 minutes for the Celtics.
I mean, somebody's getting minutes. Well, somebody's getting minutes.
When you look at Hauser's stats last year, when he started, he averaged like 13 points on like 50% shooting from three. Like he was nasty when he got the opportunity. So
and the efficiency didn't drop. That's the big
That's what I'm saying. It got better. It got better when he was starting. It feels like Sam Hauser should be the eighth man in the Celtics rotation. Like everyone's talking about it like, oh, excuse me, Porzingis is gonna, take a lot of these minutes. He'll probably scoop up some of the rotational minutes that Smart played, and they'll just play bigger instead. And then Grant will just get replaced by Brissett, and Jordan Walsh will scoop. Sam Hauser can literally step in and play 25 minutes for the Celtics. He is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. He was solid on defense last year. He was great as a starter. It feels like Sam Hauser is really primed to play a lot more minutes next season, and not a lot of people are talking about it. Maybe that's a video for us. Maybe we do Sam Hauser highlights next. Although, as you guys didn't really like the Jayson Tatum
highlight videos. You guys punted it away.
Maybe we mix it up, but I don't know. I'm excited for Hauser, and then the three forwards: Lamar Stevens, TJ Warren, Lewis King. It sounds like we're on the same page where Lamar Stevens is probably the most intriguing option.
Yep. If you want more Hardwood Houdini, click through all the slides. Tell your friends.
Go check it out. All right. Next Celtics thing we have is a Kristaps Porzingis quote. He talked about the injury. Obviously, he's not playing in FIBA for Latvia this year because of his plantar fasciitis. And he spoke with, can you say this word? I don't know how to say this. Sportazinus, which is is it a Latvian website?
I know what the hell it is. I saw this on Reddit.
It's an international.
I'll tell you what, if you look at the URL, none of the words make any sense except for his name.
Well, Porzingis spoke about the injury for, I think, the first time, him personally, outside of his Instagram or Twitter post. He said, I now have a 4 to 6 week plan that I have to follow. Feelings are good. Of course, I'm not yet in shape that I can fully play and train, train fully. But going step by step, everything should be fine by the start of the NBA season. Obviously, that was translated, so it's not perfect. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's in line, and it doesn't seem like anybody's too worried about it. It sucks that you're already seeing the injury concerns come to light this early, but like he's never been a fully healthy player, and it sounds like everybody is confident that he'll be fine by the start of the season, and that's what really matters. So good to hear he's in good spirits.
I think Porzingis just went on Twitter and read the Celtics New England Baptist Hospital injury update in whatever interview he was asked, because it's literally all it says. It was cool, like, to be on Reddit and be like, oh, wow, like, he said something. And then it's literally the tweet that the team put out. He has a plan for rehab. He's going to be back for the start of the season. That's all it says. I'm annoyed with all of this. I wish he wasn't hurt. It's not a good start to the tenure. When you give up somebody as important as Marcus Smart, this is not a good look. People are going to be pissed. Like, there's going to be pressure. And it's August. This is like the worst time of year for this to happen. Like, there's literally nothing else for us to focus on. We're just like angry. Like, what the hell? Why is Porzingis already hurt? He hasn't even played.
Yeah. You gotta talk about it.
Does the team know about this? Like, this is not a new thing.
It feels like they probably knew about it. I mean, I can't imagine they didn't know about it, but he's coming off a great season. He played a bunch of games. At some point, you got to take a risk, I guess, like to avoid, because I don't know. We don't have to get too deep into the conversation of the Smart trade. We've talked about it about a million times because there's nothing else to talk about. Obviously, would have rather them traded Brogdon because Smart's a better player. He's deeper connection to the Celtics organization, all this stuff. But it just felt like, and I mean, Wick Grosbeck said this, like something had to change. It felt like you needed to shake something up after going through these same trials and tribulations every year and falling short every year in almost the same fashion every year. Shaking something up, giving you a new look, giving the Celtics Jayson Tatum. This is probably the best third scorer of the Tatum Brown era, at least a different one. You had Kemba there as the point guard, but it feels like maybe you need a different look. Like
with these two guys as the best players, yes.
Yeah, so
because Kemba was supposed to be the first or second option.
That's what I'm saying. So give him a different look. Give him a third, high tier scoring option.
Better than Grant.
Get out of here. But good to hear Porzingis in high spirits about his injury. All right, next thing we have is an article that
you've read the injury report.
Hey man, he's talking about it. Leave me alone. This is August.
Feelings are good.
Next thing we have is something I wrote for Celtics blog. I talked about the Brad Stevens era, and the way I framed it, and I put it on here because I'm curious to know what you think. I don't know if you read the article, but I know I talked to you about when I was writing it. It feels like Brad Stevens kind of took Danny Ainge's setup and was able to not finish the job because they haven't won a championship yet, but he has been much more aggressive. Like, I'll go through the way I framed it. I'm not going to read the whole article. Go to Celtics blog if you want to read it. It's just welcome to front office week. Brad Stevens' ascension to GM has helped them push their new era forward. That's how I framed it. Basically, I talked about when Brad Stevens was elevated into the GM role, there was a lot of questions of, can he do this? Right? Basically, like
I was told many a time that he failed up.
Exactly. Failed up is a good way to put it. And the question mark was, is this the Celtics way of saving money because they want to keep him under contract and they don't want to just let him go? Right? Is Brad Stevens going to be too close to these players to trade them? Clearly, no. Is the answer, which is a good thing in all. But the way I phrased it was, this is like the conclusion to my article, right? Danny Ainge was so obsessed with hitting home runs after the fleecing of the Brooklyn Nets, right? He got Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. From that point on, or from like the Isaiah Thomas year of trades on, where he traded for Isaiah Thomas, traded for Jay Crowder, he made 2 significant trades in 5 years, in like or 3, whatever, how many ever years it was. From Isaiah Thomas to when Brad Stevens got hired, he made 2 significant trades. And when I say significant, I mean that doesn't include, draft day swaps. And like you can say the Jayson Tatum trade, but I mean like trades for actual players to help the team, right? Kyrie Irving.
I remember the second one.
Evan Fournier, Kyrie, and Fournier.
Okay.
Outside of that, it was, let's dump Ennis Freedom and give up Desmond Brain in the process. Let's salary dump Vincent Poirier. Let's, and adding these players around the fringes that never get minutes doesn't count as a significant trade. I mean, trades for rotation players. He made 2. In Brad Stevens' first 2 years, he's made like 5 to get actual players to help his teams. And the way I phrased it was, In 2007, Ainge knocked it out of the park, earning the Celtics a title, and he then followed up the feat with a flurry of heralded moves that set Boston up for the future. Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, all these moves, even trading, the pick for Jayson Tatum, doing all this stuff to set them up, drafting all these players, Grant Williams, Peyton Pritchard, all these like solid rookies in the first round, right? He did all that. But when it came time to step up to the plate again, Ainge hesitated, accepting walks when the home run move failed to present itself. So when he couldn't get the perfect trade, he just kind of did nothing and accepted small things that didn't actually help. Brad Stevens instead has hit singles, and some of which have been doubles. And then maybe this Porzingis thing is the first attempt at a home run that he's hitting, and he's rounding the bases right now, waiting to see if he'll be thrown out at home plate. Sorry for the baseball metaphors, but that's just the best way I could figure out, like, to phrase it in the article. But for years, like, you see Danny Ainge draft these players, draft Romeo Langford, maybe he'll be a piece. Aaron Nesmith, maybe he'll be a piece. Carson Edwards, maybe he'll be a piece. And then he didn't trade any of them. All those guys were on the team throughout Ainge's entire tenure. He didn't trade any of the picks before they were made. He didn't trade any of the young players before they fizzled out and had no trade value. He kept them. And it worked out in the case of Grant Williams because he was a solid rotation piece. Obviously, he didn't play. Pritchard, it worked out. He's a solid rotation piece.
You have to see what you have with these guys. You can't trade them right away.
I know you can't, but by doing that, you had Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown competing in the playoffs with Brad Wanamaker as their 6th most minutes guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he sacrificed quality depth and quality pieces behind them in hopes that one of these guys will pop. And unfortunately, none of them did. And if they did, I mean, you'd obviously be a genius. But I think that's where Brad Stevens has taken on a different approach with the Celtics, where he's not afraid to trade first round picks. He's not afraid to trade these young guys for pieces that can help them win now. Like, look at the Derek White trade. Traded Romeo, traded a 2028 first that was protected, traded another first that was protected, and Josh Richardson got a guy in Derek White who has turned out to be pretty damn good for the Celtics. You look at the Malcolm Brogdon trade, even though they gave up nothing, like he gave up a first round pick, he gave up Aaron Nesmith, another young guy, and he got a piece back. Right? These consolidation moves that Ainge didn't really make as much, right? Like, because even the Evan Fournier trade, he traded like 2 second-round picks. Like, he didn't actually trade anything for Evan Fournier, which was good. But those are the moves that Danny Ainge liked to make, moves where he definitely won the trade. And if he wasn't going to do that, then he wasn't going to make a trade at all, right? Even look at Brad Stevens' other move. Like, look at this Kristaps Porzingis trade. There's no chance in hell Danny Ainge makes this trade. You can't convince me that Danny Ainge makes this trade in a million years because of the backlash and because of how much he loved Marcus Smart and because like all these things, because he was like, no, Marcus is our guy. Oh, I don't know if I'm
he traded Isaiah Thomas.
I know he did, but he got a bona fide, no question superstar at the time. Obviously, we know how it turned out, but like he got a guy who was probably a top 10 player in the NBA at the time, top 15 maybe, right? 15, and as good as Porzingis is, like, the injury concerns, the fact that he had to trade Marcus Smart, and I know he traded Isaiah Thomas, it just seems like Brad Stevens has been more willing to take risks, and so far it's worked out. But at the same time, I just feel like Brad Stevens has taken all the assets that Danny Ainge has gotten, which was a good thing. He got all these young pieces to use, and he used them to get better win now guys, and it's thought less about the 2 timeline thing of win now. I don't know. I just think it was kind of like, and I'm not trying to knock Danny Ainge. I'm just saying Brad Stevens took what he set up and like reset the GM mindset of, because like Danny Ainge, obviously he won the Celtics a title, right? Like I'm not saying he wasn't a great GM, but he took this second era of Ainge and everything he set up and kind of better piece together a winning core around the Jays that will help them now and in the future. I just think it was like a 1-2 punch of Ainge era title, second half of Ainge era that bled into Brad Stevens, who's now setting them up a little bit better than the second era of Ainge.
Well, here's my take. I think you're half right. I think the reason why Brad Stevens is so aggressive is because the time is now, right? Like Tatum, Brown, pretty much in their primes. They're probably 85% of what they're ever going to be. Would you think that's like a fair number?
I think probably, yeah. I mean, you could like quibble if you want to go to like 75, but like around there. I know what you mean, yes.
So you kind of have to start setting them up to succeed when they're at their best. Credit to Stevens. He's absolutely done that. He has been fearless. He's made a lot of great moves, as you mentioned. But at the same time, should Ainge have done anything in like right before like the Kemba era? Like what there was a lot of moving parts in those Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie, Kemba years. Like you had 3 stars within like 4 seasons. It was a weird transition. The Kemba thing was like almost like at the time felt like a desperation move to stay afloat after losing Kyrie and Horford in the same summer. So you really can't go all in by giving up young guys, at least at that point. You're like, because you don't really know what you have. You don't know if it's worth it. Why would you go all in if you have Kemba and Enes Kanter? Luckily for the Celtics, Tatum takes a leap. He's given more responsibility and he thrives. Jaylen Brown, same story. And then Kemba starts to get hurt. And those two are able to shoulder the burden, at least at a decent clip. Of course, the 21 season was not great. Brown has a surgery to end his season. Celtics losing 5 to the Nets. But there really was never a point where it was like, oh man, we have to like put our chips in. The Celtics are now getting to that point where it's like, okay, we have 2 bona fide guys. As you mentioned, trading Isaiah for Kyrie, who was a solidified star in the league. You already have those guys. So it's more acceptable to take a swing on a guy that is more of a risk, like a Porzingis, because it's like, okay, you're going for it. But there was never a move to go for it. And when there was, it was the Kyrie thing, and he did it.
I understand, and I know what you're saying because it was sort of a developmental era, right? Like the Jays weren't their full selves yet. I just don't think Ainge would have made the trades. It was. I just don't think Danny Ainge would have made the trades Brad Stevens did. I don't think he would have traded for Derek
We don't know.
Exactly. But my point is,
he certainly didn't trade for Jimmy Butler.
He didn't do that, and it worked out. But you look at the tenure, Danny Ainge didn't trade picks. He traded first-round picks like twice in his tenure. I looked back, and there could be more. So correct me in the comments. Feel free. He traded 2 firsts in the Kevin Garnett deal, right? Obviously, that worked out. He's traded for an MVP. You're going to give up first-round picks, and he gave up 2 first-round picks in the same draft. 2 firsts in the 2009 draft. Didn't trade any other future first outside of that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a good move. You got Kevin Garnett. The other time he traded a first was in the Isaiah Thomas deal. He traded a 2016 first. That wasn't the Celtics. He didn't trade the Celtics first round pick. He traded the Cavs first round pick. Yes. But it wasn't the Celtics first round pick to begin with either, is my point. Like he didn't trade.
Brooklyn's.
Yes, it was. I think it was actually the Cavs.
It was Brooklyn's.
In the Isaiah Thomas trade?
Which one?
The
when
first
he left?
No. When he traded for Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
He traded that first. And then he did trade. He traded Cleveland's first in that trade. And then in the trade where he got Kyrie, he did trade another one. Right? Yes. He traded first round picks when he got star players. Or I guess in the case of the first Isaiah Thomas trade, a potential star player where it just made sense because they were getting other assets too. Brad Stevens traded a first round pick for a role player because he thought it would fit well with the team. He traded another first round pick for another role player because he thought it would fit well with the team. Right. He has showed more of an openness to using draft picks as currency rather than I'm not giving this up unless I get a superstar. And if I don't, I'll just make the pick and we'll develop a million rookies. Because like at one point on the team, I think this was another number I threw in there. In the Brad Stevens era, excuse me. The Celtics have had 3 rookies, 4 with Jordan Walsh now. They've had 4 rookies in these X many years. In like the 2-year period from like after Isaiah Thomas to end, the Celtics had like 8 rookies on the roster. They had Carson.
They also had way more picks.
That's my point, because Danny Ainge kept the picks, and it was a developmental era, so of course. But you looked at the top half of those Jays teams with Tatum, Kemba, Jaylen, Marcus. Like that's a core that should have and did go to the Eastern Conference Finals. So on one hand, you're like, okay, this is a young team, so let's get a bunch of young guys to develop. On the second hand, you're like, okay, this is it was almost like a watered down version of the 2022 Warriors and in this current Warriors team, where they're accepting that they have a really good top end, but they're like, okay, let's try to get by with these young guys at the bottom. And that was fine. But I'm not saying Danny Ainge was wrong for that, but I'm saying Brad Stevens has taken the reins and said, okay, as much as I want to develop some young talent, we should probably have a top 8, top 9 that is not rounded out by Shemi Ojeleye and Brad Wanamaker. And so I think, and I said this in the article, I think Danny Ainge did a great job of setting up the Celtics for the future, but then Brad Stevens took the reins, and I think he's done a great job of setting them up for the now as well. And so I think it was like a 1-2 punch. And I wasn't trying to like diss Danny Ainge. I'm just saying I think Brad Stevens has taken a different approach.
I'm doing the you move and playing devil's advocate.
And I appreciate that. And also, for context, it's August, so I wrote an article about Brad Stevens as GM.
No, I mean, I don't think anybody out there is going to be like, Steven sucks as a GM. He's been awesome. All the things you said are true. I wonder about if there was really a reason for Ainge to go all in. I mean, even like look at the 2018 team. Hayward doesn't snap his leg. Like that might be a
They had good depth. They had really good depth. They did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I don't know. It was just
a knee surgery. Like they had a few unlucky bounces in that little window.
Absolutely. All right. Next thing we have is the best moment from every Celtic last season. Another article I wrote for Celtics blog. Again, it's August. We're getting creative here. So I went through and how do you want to do this? I don't know if you read the article. I tell you what I had as the moment. And you tell me if you can think of a better one. You want to do it that way?
Okay. All right.
I'm just thinking of the way we discuss this. Like, do you want to tell me what you think the moment should be? I think that might be better, actually.
Maybe I'll guess the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So again, I wrote the best moment from every Celtics player during the 22-23 season. Okay.
I also did help you with one guy.
You did. Yes, correct. All right. Mike Muscala. What was the best Mike Muscala?
He had that one third quarter where he didn't miss.
I
don't know if you picked that, but there was like a third quarter where Mike Muscala had like 17 points.
I'm not sure if that is this game. I just picked his debut game. He had 12 points in his debut, but he had like 4 threes, and it was electric because everyone's like, "Oh, Muscala's here! Look at
it was like it was one of those garbage games against the Hawks at the end of the year.
Yes, he had 27 against the Hawks.
He just went off. So you wrong. Jack 0 for 1. No, his debut was cool because everybody got excited.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was more fun. Luke Cornett, best moment.
Oh man,
it's not. I don't know if I kind of cheated with this one. It's not an exact moment. It's just a thing.
It's just the Cornett contest.
It's just the Cornett contest. That's just the best thing to come out of Luke. I mean, he made national media. Luke Cornett made national media.
Like people were starting to think like, should everybody do this? I mean, nobody loved it more than Scal.
Wembanyama did it in Summer League this year.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
Cornett nods.
He did something.
He's just like, he's watching the game.
My honorable mentions were the bird celebration where he went like this, and then eating Jayson Tatum's ruffled chips at the beginning of a game.
That's right. He walked in with the chips.
Yeah, those are my favorite too. Luke Cornett's fun. He's good. Peyton Pritchard.
Pritchard at triple-double last game of the year.
30-point triple-double. That was easy. Honorable mentions were January 21st against the Raptors. He had a big game, and then he just grabbed a million offensive rebounds.
Playing the Raptors, dude.
That he does. Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin had 5 threes against 76ers.
I put that as an honorable mention, but
the alley-oop dunk?
No, I had that as an honorable mention. I had the Bus One boys, but the top moment that I chose was when he got headbutt by Thanasis and just laughed in his face.
Good pick.
Shout out,
Blake had a lot of good moments to come full circle to how we started the show.
Yes, shout out Bill Sy, Celtics blog editor extraordinaire. He gave me that moment, and that kind of kickstarted the whole thing. So that is there. Sam Hauser. This one I wasn't sure which one to go with because there's a couple moments that I probably could have chosen over this, but I chose one in particular.
I think it's the game-tying shot against the Bucks to send the game to overtime. But there was also that game where he started against the Knicks, and he had a really, really great start. It was like all of our revelation to Sam Hauser, where it was like he had 18 points early, game 3 of the season. I was like, oh my god.
Yes, I had the game-tying shot against the Bucks as an honorable mention, but they lost the game, so I thought it was like a little less cool because they lost.
Yes,
I had his dunk. He
had 3 dunks.
Yeah, his dunk fest against the Raptors. That was another honorable mention. I was gonna choose the Knicks game because that was like the first like hint at it.
Yeah,
but then a couple games later, he had another huge game against the Pistons where he had, he had a career high 24, and so I chose that one instead because like. It felt like the Knicks was like the first like appetizer, and then the Pistons was the entree of Sam Hauser is here. So I went with Pistons over Knicks, but those 2 games.
And then Joe Mazzulla said we're not going to play this guy in the playoffs.
Yeah, unfortunate. Grant Williams, these were good moments, best moments. These were not. Yeah,
Grant had an alley-oop dunk against the Pistons. Grant. Is it bad that I really can't think of like any great Grant games?
I struggled. I struggled a little bit. I had game 2 against Philly in the playoffs.
When he got his face stepped on?
I think so, yeah. He hustled. He stopped Joel Embiid. He played good minutes there. He had 12 points. He lifted them to their – I mean, they killed him in that game. No, I think he got stomped in a different game. But
game 3.
Yeah,
because I
but
didn't see it
game
live.
2.
I was at the med school prom.
I had game 2. Robert Williams, another one where I was like, I don't really know what his season best is.
I
This was
can't
a
really
tough one,
think of
too.
it.
I chose game 3 against the Hawks. He had 13 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks.
Okay.
He really got a ton of rebounds, and they struggled on the boards in that series. So that's what I went with. He had another big game against the Spurs in January.
Oh, that
And
was
then
the one where he had the closeout block and then took a coast to coast. The highlight.
And then his season debut against the Magic was fun too, because like he came back, but it was tough to pick.
I was there. They lost.
Yeah, so I couldn't choose it.
You were
Brogdon,
there too.
Malcolm
Malcolm
was.
Brogdon. It might. I mean, he had like
This
a
was
lot
tough.
of good games.
This was tough. So I originally chose, he had 30 points against the Hornets earlier in the season. That was a season high. But it was like, it was the Hornets. So I ended up putting that as an honorable mention. I had game 2 as the Hawks, but I had game 2 against Philly. He like shared it with Grant. He had like, he had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He was just on fire from 3 in that game, helped him to the blowout. So I chose that. There wasn't really any other ones. I mean, the most memorable moment.
He was just
probably when
steady.
he threw the ball to Maxey, but this was best
Yeah.
moments. Just like I couldn't choose. I'm gonna make them both for
Ooh,
Grant.
should I do a worst moments?
Yes, you
I
should.
don't have the energy. Maybe next week.
We can do it together if you want. Al Horford, what do you got for Al?
The elite shooter game.
Absolutely. That was game 3
Gets
against the Sixers.
in Philly, torture chamber. They all hate him.
Yes.
Big game. Helps them win a
Yes.
road game after they kick away the game 1.
Yep. And he was struggling too. He shot 2 for 12 in the first 2 games. And then he just lit him up in that game 3. So
It's always
good for
fire
him.
when Al Horford turns up, man.
My other honorable mentions were game 7 against the Sixers, where he just locked up Joel Embiid. And then
I think that one might have been actually a better pick, even though like it doesn't jump off the page at you. He was so impactful on the defensive end; it was more important.
I think the defense was more series wide, so maybe I could have chose that. But and then the other one was January 19th against the Warriors. He was awesome as well. So, but I think I can't remember if they won that game or lost that game.
They did. They won. That was the overtime game at the Garden.
Yeah. Marcus Smart. This is the one you helped me with.
He had a monster game 6 at the table for Tatum to come back from the dead and carry them to a victory. But he was awesome throughout the whole game. Great. Kept him in the game.
Yep. I went with that one. Honorable mentions, game 5 against the Heat. He was really good. He had a lot of steals, and then 15
first
assists
half
against
in
the
game
Hornets.
1. Just 10 assists in the first half.
Yep.
And then they stopped letting him pass.
Yep. Derek White. I mean, come on. Like
the game winner. Easy.
It's gotta be. I had honorable mentions, game 1 and 2 against the Hawks. I ran around my house. And then Eastern Conference Player of the Week. That was another good one. Jaylen Brown. What do we got?
Let's see.
It's a tough one. I struggled with this one. He was good, but it was just like
he had a half court overtime shot against the Heat. Did he have 50 this year in a game?
I don't think he had 50 this year. He had 50 last year against the Magic.
I remember it was the Magic. He had
game
some good regular
shot.
Season games though.
He had 41 against the Spurs. I had that one as an honorable mention. I picked game 6 against the Hawks though. The closeout game, he had 32 points. Him and Tatum exploded for like 70 combined or something crazy, or close to 70 combined. And he was on fire. He shot 13 of 25, 6 of 8 from 3. And it was the playoffs, so I figured I'll just go with that one instead.
Okay.
But it was tough to nail down one single moment. Unlike it was for Tatum, which was easy, what was Tatum's best moment? Easy. This was an easy pick for me.
Game 7.
Yeah, game 7 against Philly. Murdered the Sixers, 51 points, 7 of 28 from the field, 6 of 10 from deep. He also had 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals, and 11 free throws. Like, he just killed him. It wasn't close. I had the honorable mentions. Game 4 against the Heat, he was really good, and then the game winner against game 6 was another one, but he struggled. So it was
he had the game winner in Philly.
The game winner was another one.
Dunked on Giannis on Christmas. He had some good. He had like a really fun season. So he came out with his shoes and then forgot how to play for 2 months.
Yeah. Those are my honorable mentions though.
Okay.
And then I think we had another Celtics blog article, which I feel like we should just save. Let's bank
Pocket
that.
it.
Yeah. And then
segue
the last
on
thing
Jayson Tatum. Speaking of Jayson Tatum, go ahead.
You do it. Lead it off. You put this on the show sheet.
Speaking of Jayson Tatum, Cooper Flagg, super cool prospect from Maine. spoke on Jayson Tatum this week. He said, if I could find it, Jayson Tatum is my favorite player in the NBA right now. I don't know if it's possible. At least he understands it. But that's definitely a player I would love to play with one day. Who wouldn't want to play for their hometown team?
Eyes emoji. Eyes emoji.
Get ready to start trading for draft picks, buddy.
Cooper Flagg
You
is
can draft
nasty.
Cooper Flagg. Yeah.
Cooper Flagg is nasty. For those who aren't aware of Cooper Flagg, which you should be if you're a basketball fan, he is projected to be the number one recruit or the number one pick or a top X pick in the 2025 NBA draft. He just reclassified to the 2024 high school class, I believe. So he was supposed to be 2025 high school class and be in the 2026 draft.
Wow.
But now I believe he's 2024 high
He
school
must be
class.
real smart to skip a grade.
Something like that. I think he's
Probably
just
has,
old
straight
enough.
A's.
He's just old enough where he can do it. So he's going to be a draft earlier and going to be in the 2025 NBA draft, I believe is what it is. But he is from Maine, from a town that's not really known for basketball. He's a twin.
A state
I don't know,
not
I don't
known
know
for
if you knew that.
basketball.
A state, yeah.
A region not known for basketball.
Yeah, Cooper Flagg is a twin as well. He's a twin brother, so he plays. I
Tough for the
believe.
twin.
I know he has a brother, but I'm pretty sure they're twins. I'm gonna double check here. Yes, his brother's name is Ace Flagg. He's also good, but he's just not,
Ace
number one
is the
pick in the
better
NBA draft.
name.
Ace is a better name.
Ace is the one that should be good at basketball.
Well,
he's good, but he's not like everybody who's watching him play at Rucker Park good.
Yes, I agree. Ace is 6'7", so he's also tall. He is getting recruited, but he's a 3-star recruit in his class. Yeah, I know. He's a 3-star recruit in his class.
5'5".
I know. He's not as tall as Cooper though. 3-star recruit. It says he has an offer from West Virginia, so he's a D1 player, but he's not Cooper Flagg.
Okay.
Cooper Flagg. Let's
Is he
check.
committed
Cooper
to college yet? Because he doesn't have to.
Cooper
Oh wait,
Flagg,
no, he graduates this upcoming school year.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna learn soon.
Cooper Flagg is not committed, but there was something on Twitter today. Let me look that he is going to visits from a few schools. Let me find the list. So
he should go to the University of Maine. Put him on the map.
Cooper Flagg plans to visit Duke, Kansas, and UConn this fall. So he's going to be playing for a big boy school.
If you're a real New Englander, go play.
Those are his 3 first official visits. School list. This is ESPN. These are the schools he has offers from already. West Virginia, UConn, UCLA, UAlbany, Providence, Michigan, Maine, Iowa, Georgia, Duke, Bryant. So
Bryant,
plenty of
Grasso, fire the coach.
Plenty of offers for Cooper Flagg. But yeah, I mean,
URI slacking. They're listen, you got Providence and Bryant. Get in on the fun. He's not. You got Ray Allen's kid there now. Just be like, look.
How sick would it be if Cooper Flagg went to Maine though?
It would be sick. That would be the most respectable move of all time.
There's no chance, though. There's just no shot.
Him and his brother can go hoop there. It'd be great.
Yeah. Do you think Maine would make the tournament? Any chance?
I think if Cooper Flagg goes to Maine, they can probably get him some fellas to play with.
This is true.
That is because you have a transfer portal now. I will say this. 2024-25, not the worst year for the Celtics to maybe have somebody get injured.
Maybe. Hey,
imagine if they were able to draft him. How crazy that'd be.
That's what I'm saying. You know what they need to do? They need to.
You have to think the Spurs got Tim Duncan because David Robinson was out for a year.
Yeah. You know what they need to do? This is gonna make me sound like a complete hater, and I'm gonna preface this with this is all a joke. This is not real. All I'm saying.
You ruined the joke by saying that.
I know, but I'm gonna get hate, and you're gonna yell at me. It's not even a joke; it's just hypothetical. I'm just gonna let me set the scene for you. Jayson Tatum tears his ACL, out for the season. Disaster.
That's what I just said.
Disaster strikes. Wait, Jaylen Brown. Everyone's right. Sick of Boston. Doesn't want to be there. Need to trade him. He's got to go. You get something else.
Be careful. Be careful. Be careful.
Get a pick.
Be very careful.
Robert Williams knee. Disaster strikes. Malcolm Brogdon. He's still mad at the Celtics for not trading him. Absolute implosion. Cooper Flagg comes back. Robert Williams is healthy again. Jaylen Brown scams the team they traded for. Says, "Get me back to Boston." Yeah. No, there's. I can't imagine a world where the Celtics get Cooper Flagg. They would have to pull off some ridiculous a team that's supposed to be
Do they
really
own
good.
anybody else's draft picks?
No,
They have
I
the
don't think
Warriors
so.
pick this year. Ooh,
They
too
do.
bad.
Pro Sports. Let me just double check.
No,
Excuse me.
that's
So
the only one I think.
in the
While you're looking,
2025 draft, the Celtics just have their own pick, and that's it. So
do something about that.
not looking great. No, Cooper Flagg wanting to play with Jayson Tatum is dope. I mean, it's cool to hear. Let me rephrase. It's unsurprising to hear. He's from Maine. Of course, you'd want to play for the team that he grew up rooting for, right?
You know, Cooper Flagg is going to go to a Celtics game this year, and they're going to put him up on the screen, and like half the garden's going to go nuts because they know who he is.
Yeah,
He's
he's going to show
next guy. It's him.
People are going to be hyped.
He's him.
Yeah, people are going to be excited. And then, I mean, the class after that. So Cooper Flagg's going to be the 2025 draft class. What do you mean? Don't care.
Class
what am I
after
gonna
Cooper
say?
Flagg? What the hell are we talking about?
Well, my point is, it's another Massachusetts guy. He's going to be the first overall pick. Yeah. You don't care. Say, fuck you, you asshole. Let me fucking talk.
Guy? Who?
He's from Brockton. He's from one town away from me. His name's AJ DeBonsa.
Is that Plymouth County? I think it's Plymouth County.
Yes.
Not Bristol
Yes.
County. Tough.
What county is Brockton?
Plymouth.
Plymouth County, you're right. But it is, I could walk out of my house and drive 5 minutes and be in Brockton. So it's like right there. His name's AJ DeBonsa. He's projected to be the first pick in the 2020 whatever class.
Well, he's no Cooper Flagg.
Well, he's pretty damn good.
No ace flag.
But yeah, 2 straight prospects from New England. Cooper Flagg wants to play with Jayson Tatum. Would like to play
on the Celtics. Yeah,
would be pretty cool. Probably not going to happen anytime.
Back in the day, Ben Simmons like posted a My Player like where his favorite team was Boston Celtics. So don't close the door on that one.
Maybe you never know. All right, should we move on to the NBA?
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Lead us off here, Sam. I'll let you kick it off. You got the
yeah.
You made the show sheet. So
I kind of put this together today. So James Harden is finished. The NBA has fined James Harden $100,000. He's essentially homeless now. He has.
Well, he doesn't even want to pay it. The NBPA is filing a grievance with the fine.
Well, for what it's worth, that is the most they possibly could have fined him.
Yeah.
To us, it sounds like a slap on the wrist, but they did the max punishment. Also, James Harden has unfollowed Daryl Morey on Twitter. So rip.
Shocker. I don't know, man. I think
they should fight.
We've gone back and forth on this. I don't think either side is handling this particularly well. We've heard James Harden is mad because the Sixers said they'd trade him quickly and then they didn't. I heard today, I think Keith Smith and Trevor Lane of the NBA
trades to happen, somebody has to want you.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. The NBA front office pod was talking about it, and they were like, it sounds like they got the information from Brian Windhorst. I'm just saying where I heard it, that like the Clippers pulled out of negotiations. They were like, yeah, no, we don't really know anymore.
Who's trading for him? Name one team. Name one team that will trade for James. That even makes sense. There's none.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's a weird situation, and the Sixers are being, from all accounts, like from what Daryl Morey has said, like unrealistic in their trade asks too, which is like I guess is fair. But basically what they want is they want players to help them win now, but they also don't want any long-term money because they want to be able to spend money next summer, which just like you can't really have both. Like that's not really how it works.
Yeah.
So they're also just being super stupid in their negotiations. And I mean, we don't have to get into it last time.
I'm literally like flipping through my head. Like I can't think of a team that want him.
I know we have like differing opinions on like, oh, should James Harden get all the blame? And you hate James Harden. You think he should. I disagree. I think both teams are stupid. And my thing that I go back to is if you were iffy on trading him because you, because you don't know about the return, or you don't know if you wanted to give him a max, don't say you're going to do those things in the first place. Just say, we'll see. Right. And then it'll be up to like
the we'll see thing is fine. But like,
that's what I'm saying.
Again, you can't trade him if nobody wants him. Nobody wants him.
Then don't say we're going to trade you real quick. Then don't say we're going to trade you. Don't worry. Because when you say we're going to trade you, don't worry.
Would want him.
Well, then
who's that real? Whose fault is that really?
Then say we'll gauge the market and let you know. Don't say yes, we'll trade you.
If they said they'd trade Embiid quickly, I'm sure somebody would take Embiid.
Well, yes, but then say we'll see the market. Don't say we'll trade you. Don't worry about it.
Sure, we'll see the market, but also don't suck.
Yeah, I don't know who would want him though. I just
Nobody.
who would want James Harden.
Maybe
Nobody wants the
I
rest.
really hope he goes to play in China. That would be the best thing ever.
That'd be kind of fire. I'd respect James Harden for that. I don't care. Yeah, see you later.
I would respect it, but it would just also be like,
Well, the
this
thing
this is like my fantasy of a player trying to force his way out and just getting fucked.
well, that's the issue. He can't, and he can't next year either. If James Harden doesn't report to training camp,
Why can't he?
listen,
Why not?
CBA. I'm going to explain it if you let
Is
me
it
fucking talk.
because
What?
is it because he opted into the final year of his deal? Is that why?
Can I talk now? Can I explain
ahead.
now? Fucker. New thing in the CBA: if a player holds out or doesn't report, they are not out of their contract at the end of it.
Good.
So if James Harden doesn't hold out this season, or if he holds out the season and doesn't report to the Sixers control what team next or where he goes next after his current contract. Like, he doesn't just end. Like, he can't just not play this year and then do whatever he wants when
This
his
is the
contract is
greatest
up.
thing ever.
So yeah, I thought you didn't.
WCBA. W.
So
They need to be held accountable for
fair.
this stuff. At
The
the end of
players
the
do
day,
too.
don't opt in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just entertaining. I don't really give a shit. This is August entertainment at its finest. I'm fine with it. Speaking of
just
August entertainment,
Find a way to be the most ridiculous. Yes. Speaking of
who is
ridiculous.
Harden or the Sixers? Both.
Both.
It's great. I love it. I'm enjoying. But speaking of August entertainment, Lonzo Ball and Stephen A. Smith, not really beefing, but Stephen A.
Lonzo
Smith
Ball
said,
has finished Stephen A. Speaking of just being
Right.
finished. Stephen
Go
A.
ahead.
on First Take, because Lonzo has been a topic of discussion. He went on, I think, Trae Young's podcast. So was just saying he feels
Yes.
bad for the Bulls. You know more about this than me. You probably wrote about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, Stephen A. is like, yeah, Lonzo's knee is so bad that he can barely stand up if he's sitting in a chair. And then Lonzo posted a video of him repeatedly using one leg, the bad leg, to get up and down, up from a chair, and
Which
then
is
sitting back down.
Fire. It's elite. Like that's a
Is
power
this the
move.
equivalent of going up to a person in a wheelchair and being like, stand up, and then they do it? And they just prove you wrong. You're just shell shocked. It's the Kevin Nash where he like fakes being in the wheelchair
Gets
and
out
then
of the
gets
cast.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. No, something like that.
The Lonzo
I mean,
thing's
Stephen
crazy.
I know. I feel bad for Lonzo. It's not like he doesn't deserve it. He's
Well,
a
he
good
talked about it.
player.
He was like, this is like the first time I felt like I was in a really great situation to succeed,
Yeah.
and he can't play.
Stephen A. I mean, what Stephen A. is on a burner lately. You see what he said this morning? He's like, yeah, Michael Jordan texted me, said that Magic Johnson's
did?
better stuff. No, he didn't. There's no fucking chance Michael Jordan texted him. I'm sorry. Michael Jordan is
Stephen A. say whatever he
golfing,
wants.
smoking cigars, and not giving a fuck about anything.
Did you see the video of like somebody like filming Michael Jordan making the goat noses at him?
Yes, he just doesn't care. He just didn't
That's
care.
so like who?
It
You
cringe.
know how weird you have to be to do that?
It's very cringe.
Michael, if you make goat noses at anybody, noises, my God. At anybody, they should be able to beat the shit out of you.
I agree. But like the thought that Michael Jordan took time out of his day to text Stephen A. Smith in general, but not only that, just to say, yeah, Magic Johnson's better than Steph Curry. I'm sorry. There's no fucking way. And I love Stephen A., but like, bro, there's just no. I don't believe
Stephen
that
A.
for a
is
second.
literally ESPN. Without him, they have nothing.
Yes. Agree. Speaking of, I mean, we talked about James Harden, Sam's favorite. Let's talk about another one of Sam's favorite, Zion Williamson. Recently, I don't
Notice
know
how
where
my
he talked
favorite
about this.
are like the guys that just can't play or don't want to
Yeah.
play.
Sam's love to hate
Ben
list.
Simmons too.
Zion was talking about the big three of him, CJ, and Brandon Ingram. It was via league alerts. I don't know what it is, but basically it was just saying like super excited about training camp, super excited. He's like, yeah, we're killing them in scrimmages. And as much as this is nothing, like this is going to be a Jack talks about something because Sam's just going to be a hater. So let me talk first and then you can hate if you'd like to. My thing is, as much as it sucks, the situation, Zion couldn't be on the court, as much as you want to blame Zion or blame the Pelicans, to see him genuinely be excited about playing basketball with these guys is fun. It's because like all you see about Zion is this guy sucks. This guy is in a bad situation. This guy is talking to a porn star, and guy is having, you know what I'm saying? Like all the summer and all the past
kill
few
to
years.
talk to a porn star. Not me. I'm happy,
negative.
but
Yeah, I was gonna
maybe
say
another member of the show.
Whoa! What are we doing?
Wait.
Oh, wait a sec. We're not doing that. No, but hearing Zion like genuinely excited about
Could be Matt
playing
the Rat.
basketball is fun. Cool to see him excited. Some images surfaced, and I know it's the same Ben Simmons mead, but like it looks like he's a little healthier. I am always of the belief that I want guys to be on the court. I want guys to be healthy. If Zion's healthy, I'd love to see him. And like Sam always says, Pelicans were really good when those three were
they
healthy.
were. You
So
beat me to it. I was gonna back you up.
I'm excited. It's nice to hear Zion being excited and actually wanting to play.
No, he should be excited. I mean, that Pelicans team has a solid roster. It's just a question of whether or not he can get out on the floor. And of course, when you're injured, it's not always your fault. But when you're fat and you get injured because you're fat, then it is your fault. Even though you're in a tough spot, you're like 20 years old. They have all the best food. Everything's fried. Of course, you're going to get a little fat. Even though you're a pro athlete, like you should be doing enough where you're burning calories.
Topic of conversation. Is there a worse city Zion could have gone to?
I feel maybe not.
New York, maybe. I mean, there's probably
No.
New York.
Because they got everything.
Orleans.
They got everything though. Like
this is true.
You know, like New York is such like a melting pot, like where they have everything.
I want to go to New Orleans. New Orleans seems like a fun place. I've never been. It seems dope.
Me neither.
Like the food, all the good stuff. Maybe that's our next. Maybe it's an adventure. HBTC goes.
Jack and I, by the way, going to Vegas for the
we are going to
tournament
Vegas.
games. So we're gonna plant the seed now. If the Celtics get to the quarterfinals, we're going to have to do a stream for the game because there's going to be stakes for us. Because essentially, if they go, then we're going to be there, and it's going to be awesome. We'll probably get to do content. We'll probably do content anyways. But like, it's going to be like essentially, Jack and I made like a X amount of dollars bet, however much we have to spend to get there, and we're going to see if it pays off or not. So just stay tuned on that. If you listen this far, a little nugget for you. We're going to definitely talk about it more. But yeah, the Pelicans are a team that should be competitive. I mean, this is just another nugget of the Western Conference being kind of a bloodbath this year. You have Denver. Phoenix went all in. Healthy Pelicans team could be competitive. Dallas had a good summer. Sacramento is poised to build off what they did last year. The Warriors got CP3. We'll see how that goes. The Lakers probably solidified the rest of the rotation. Who knows how good the top will be again this year? Or if they're going to, because it felt like they were a bit lightning in a bottle at the end of the last year. If the Clippers are healthy, how good can they be? OKC is poised to take a jump. I mean, just keep going down the list. Utah's probably out of it. Portland's out of it. Minnesota, is Ant going to be good?
Well, I mean, you look at the NBA standings,
Memphis,
right? Like,
I didn't even mention Memphis.
Like, look at the NBA standings. I'm going to read you these teams. Nuggets, Grizzlies, Kings, Suns, Clippers, Warriors, Lakers, Timberwolves, Thunder, Pelicans, Mavericks. I just named 11 teams.
Get worse.
I just named 11 teams.
Yeah.
Only 8 of them can make the playoffs. Like,
get ready for expansion, buddy.
And that's without even mentioning, and I know they're probably not going to be great, but like the Jazz are fine, right? Like they'll be okay. The Rockets are trying to win. So like this isn't even like mentioning the teams on the fringe. Those 11 teams, only 8 can make the playoffs. And out of them, it's probably going to be like the Timberwolves are probably the first cut you make. And then maybe the Thunder, but they're going to be nasty, right? Shea's great. And then probably the Pelicans or Mavericks, but even them, they got like all NBA players leading the way.
Maybe when they do the expansion draft, they need to do like 4 teams.
Yeah, maybe.
Because like the league is so good now where, all right, one, create jobs, right? The American dream, create jobs. But seriously, like we just listed off 11 teams that can make the playoffs because the league is so deep. Like, just don't draft guys off the Celtics.
Yeah, maybe don't. Maybe chill with that. No, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm happy.
Or do the expansion after this year. Draft all the best players, and then the Celtics can tank.
Get Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
No. Good to hear Zion excited about playing with those guys. I just thought
to play on a super cool new court.
Yes, and there's our segue. Thank you, Sam. Pelicans released a new court, and Sam was very upset because he thought it was going to be an extra court, but I think I'm
kind of sick of like the court designs. Like Milwaukee had that blue court that they used for half the season, and they have another court. Like, yeah, you have one court. You don't need multiple court designs. You should have one jersey their only court at home. So anyways, the Pelicans like put like a bunch of city-based designs on the border of their court. Jack likes it. I mean, I think it's fine. I kind of, and they made this video and I was listening to music when I watched it and I didn't hear like the audio on it. Yeah. And I was like, damn, like this really vibes with the music I'm listening to.
No, it's cool. I mean, it looks like it's going to be their main court. Like this is going to be the only court they have, which makes it a little better. So it's not like changing every time.
So Pelicans 1 of 2 this offseason. The jerseys they dropped suck.
Yeah. You got the bird in the middle of the court.
They need to change this stuff. Like They need to do a purple, green, yellow color scheme.
Yes.
Like that
Agree.
Mardi Gras color scheme that they have the alternates for needs to be their default.
Fire. I agree. It's more unique, better than this boring thing.
None
just
of
like
these
I
colors
think
are good.
no. Just like I think the Nuggets need to change from their current color scheme back to the
Nuggets
rainbow
one
with
sucks too.
the blue and yellow. Agreed. But
even the powder blue with the gold looks better than that.
I agree. I like those as well. But speaking of jerseys, the Hornets, the latest in a string of these jerseys rule. Good job, Hornets. Hornets released their new city jerseys, and it's basically just it's like their retro jerseys, I should say.
35 years, apparently.
It's a throwback to the Del Curry era, I believe, with the pinstripes.
Essentially the first team they ever had.
Yeah. I'll put it on the screen with if you're watching on YouTube. But basically, it's just the teal jerseys with the 3 green, purple, and light blue pinstripes.
Those look good.
LaMelo rocking them. Very cool. I enjoy. I think
that should be their default jersey. The actual jerseys kind of suck.
Yes, I agree. Not
they
cool,
should do a Bobcats jersey. How funny would that be?
Someone's saying they should bring back the Cats. I think it's cool. But yeah, good for the Hornets. They brought back cool jerseys and W Hornets. Let's see. Do we have any other stuff? And I believe the last thing we have for today, Sam, is your Reddit post of the day.
Yes.
So, hit me with what you got.
This is a quick one. We'll kind of go back and forth, then we'll move on. Reddit post of the day on the NBA community via user Nam67. What NBA star gets traded next? Context. We are all very aware of Damon Harden trade requests, but obviously there is no traction on the actual deals despite months of chatter. This was relatively a slow offseason as far as blockbuster trades go, but we saw big names like CP3 and Beal get shipped off somewhat unexpectedly. Who do you think will be the next NBA star to get traded? Not talking quote-unquote requests, but actually be traded. My guess has to be one of the Clippers stars, Kawhi or Paul George. I just can't fathom how they can continue to try and compete with their best players riding the pine most of the year. The Clippers definitely have work to do because they have no draft picks, and they haven't really been as successful as they'd hoped since 2020. A quick, mental, sift, flip through all the teams. I would say a reasonable expectation actually could be Zion, but that would probably come at request. I think somebody
if I had to pick, I'd say Karl Anthony Towns. I think Cat gets traded.
Yeah, okay.
If I
trying in the East, is there anybody that's kind of due? Well, I guess
Embiid, yeah, that might be the big one. Embiid,
one of those Atlanta guards. Low key, I think one of the Atlanta guards is going because it doesn't make sense. They both are better with the ball in their hands.
Siakam gets traded.
Well, he doesn't want to leave. Oddly enough,
I know, but still, you'd think they probably trade him regardless. Chicago, do they finally do something?
Maybe
eventually. They gotta. I don't know.
I'm gonna see. I don't have the link.
That's low key. They're not gonna do it right away. But if they continue down this road with how much the other teams are improving, you have to imagine the Hornets are forced to trade LaMelo at some point, right?
I think they have a little window here to see how things pan out because they just drafted Brandon Miller.
I agree, but I don't think it's going to pan out. Who are they going to make the playoffs over in the next 5 years?
Well,
realistically,
in the next 5 years,
the Magic, the Pacers, the Pistons, they're not going to be better than any of those teams in the next 5 years.
No, but they may end up being better than Philly.
Fine, give them that.
Let's
Magic,
just
Pacers, Pistons, Bucks, Celtics, Cavs, Knicks. Even
are the Bucks going to be good forever? Isn't Giannis's deal up after next year? And then Middleton and Lopez are getting old. So is Holiday.
I don't care if Giannis is there. They're going to be better than the Hornets.
Well, he might not be there.
I think he will be. I don't think he leaves Milwaukee. I think he's a lifer.
I hope he is. I think it's a respectable thing, but that's not guaranteed. The Bucks' future is not solidified. They'll be better than Toronto.
I think the Hornets have the worst future in the East, and that's including the Wizards.
I can see that.
I just don't actually, no, I lied. Sorry. That was too harsh. Better future than the Bulls.
Yes.
Bulls better future than probably the Raptors. Scotty Barnes.
I think so.
Better future. They're probably better than the Wizards. I'm being a bit dramatic. But past that, Philly, maybe
Let's
better
see what
future.
The top replies are. I found the post.
I don't know. I think Karl
Someone said Cat.
Yeah.
That's probably that's the top up vote getting one.
I think that's the
Cat
best one.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Raptors.
Yep, Siakam.
Bulls break
Absolutely.
up their core. Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday. That's actually not the
Maybe.
dumbest take ever. Because
I
I
think
just
one of
talked
them
about
could
those
go.
guys are getting old, still have a little bit of value, but Milwaukee's not trading either one of them, especially not Holiday, unless you're getting something worthwhile back. I can't think of any team that would want to trade for those guys that isn't desperate, meaning they don't really have anything to give up in return. So unless some disaster happens in Milwaukee, it's not going to happen. Someone said Brandon Ingram only has 2 years left on his contract. Someone said I think
another one.
Luka. No. Mark Cuban said he would rather get divorced.
It's true. It's interesting choice by Mark Cuban. I bet his wife loved that. No, I don't know. I'd probably go Cat or Siakam. I think those are the best two options. All right. Shall we go into the route list, Sam?
Yes.
You want to lead this off, or do you want me to go?
You can go. You have 2 written.
All right.
So
I do.
Do that.
Actually, let's start off with an anti-rat list as I change Matt the Rat here. I want an anti-rat list. Oh, we're on the wrong rat list. Here we go. We got to get the background in too. Here we go. Don't worry about it. I got it. We're here. That was our rat list from the first to the floor. Took over the screen. That's fine. Anti-rat list, my mom. Because as Sam mentioned, we are going to Las Vegas.
It is a great story.
And so for those listening to the show, probably know I hate flying. And I don't like change in general. Like, I am very content sitting in my room, watching YouTube, hanging out, chilling, like vegging out, doing my work, and just chilling. I like golfing. I like doing a few things, but most of the time, sit here, do my work. It's fine. So getting me to go on these vacations is hard. 1, because I hate flying, and 2, because I love sleeping in my own bed and just staying home. Big, like, home, right? So Sam texted me, update on Vegas. He asked me for like 3 days, and I would always go to respond, forget to talk to my family. And half of me was like, I don't know. Cause I was like internally deciding. So figuring it out, finally text Sam back today. And I'm like, I think I'm going to pass. I don't like flying. Probably going to save money. I'm not sure when I'm moving out. Blah, blah, blah.
No.
Basically making excuses.
At this point, I am in a work meeting and I'm like, I'm not going to take my phone out to respond. But I was like, okay, like, I'll be like, cause I really just wanted you to not.
Did you see that? Did you see that text when I was like,
I saw them. I saw them as they came in.
Gotcha. So I said that, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go. Basically, being a flake, effectively. Not like that. I was confirmed that I would. Then I was like, I don't know.
Then I receive a text from Jack, and he's actually, I'm going to verbatim read it because I thought it was truly one of the funnier.
I texted this to Sam.
So this is my conversation with Jack. I text him at 9 a.m. I say, any update on Vegas? Now I don't expect a reply from Jack as he doesn't get up until the middle of the day. And then I check my phone. I see Reddit at like 11 a.m. So I was like, what the hell? So it's 2:49. I'm like, sir. He goes, sorry, I haven't talked to my mom, but I'm probably leaning towards passing. You go into detail about that. He goes, update. My mom told me not to be a bitch and just go. So fuck it, I'm in. And that was the single greatest text message I think I've ever received.
Yeah. So, I called my mom. I dropped Henry off at the dentist and I was waiting for him to come out. I called my mom. I'm like, yeah, Sam asked me to go to Vegas. I don't really know if I want to go, but maybe I should just stop being a bitch. And she just goes, yeah, the second one. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, just go. What are you doing? I wish I went to Vegas when I was younger. This sounds fun. Why? Like, what's wrong with you? And I said, I don't like flying. And she goes, so get over it. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Fine. I texted Sam back. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll go. So
all right,
it'll be
fun.
We're
gonna have a blast.
But yeah, it'll be a good time. So anti-rat list, my mom, she specifically told me, she goes, don't fucking put me on the rat list anymore. So this is an anti-rat list, just to make that clear. So there we go. Well, we're happy now.
All right. I will do rat list, the people that ride the motorized trikes. Have you ever seen these cars? Like, they have the 2 wheels in the front, the one in the back.
Yes.
Be an adult. 4 wheels. You don't need to ride a trike anymore. You're not a toddler. There was 2 of them when I was driving home today from basketball, and they're just whizzing down the road. And I live near the beach, so like people come down with these things all the time. I don't understand the appeal of these. I don't think I've never seen one and went like, wow, that thing rules. Like, I want one. Like, yeah, I see like old timey cars, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. I don't even know what the market is for these things.
It's definitely
either buy a motorcycle or don't.
Just pick one, right?
Yeah.
It's very weird. I don't know. Yeah, rat list those guys because they don't go fast enough to like warrant being.
There used to be a guy that had a black one, and he would dress like Batman. Swear to God. he would ride around my neighborhood, like near the basketball court and everything, and he would literally just have like the Batman
Well,
mask
it's
on.
quite the decision. It's quite the
Mm.
look. I will go with. I have to tell the story because I can't just rat list. It's the dude in the bathroom when I was golfing, and that's why I say it requires a story. So I was at golf with my buddy Danny and two of his friends, and it was fine. It's before the round. I head into the clubhouse. I'm like, all right, let me pee before we get out there. Go in. There's a single person bathroom. I knock. I see the lights on, but I'm like, knock, knock, knock. Don't hear anything. I'm like, okay, whatever. Let me open the door. I open the door. It's open. So I'm like, okay, let me walk in. Dude goes, whoa. I'm like, he goes, lucky for you. I got off the toilet. And he's like laughing. He wasn't actually mad, but I'm like, lock the fucking door. What are we doing? Are you a child?
Maybe he wants someone to walk in and be like, oh, sorry.
Rat list, lock the door. It's a single person bathroom that has a lock.
I don't know how
you're
you
just
don't
not
lock
gonna
the
lock
door.
it. That's what I'm saying. Also, rat list people who use public bathrooms like stalls and just pee with the door open. Are you an animal? I'm sorry. Maybe this is me. Do you see this anywhere? Like at Celtics or Red Sox games or stuff, they just pee with the door open. And like, I guess it's fine because you can go to urinal too. I know, but like, if you are going to close the, not even in the context that like I don't like looking at it, but like,
is
if
it
you
like
are going
you
to
get
go
like
in a
excited
stall,
like when you're looking for a parking space and
yes,
then there's like a motorcycle?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
I can
There's
see that.
And also the people who close the door but don't lock it, I'm like, I go in, I have to like look under the stall for your fucking feet. Just lock the door behind you if you're in a bathroom. I don't care if it's the context of a stall or a single bathroom. Just avoid the awkwardness. Take 2 seconds and be a human with a functioning fucking brain and lock the door. It just made no sense. It just was stupid. Anyways, that pissed me off. Yeah.
Ratless, the lady that blew the yield sign as so there's
You don't have
like
to say
2
anymore,
lanes
but
to get
yes.
onto the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And there I was in the one with no yield sign and she just blasts through.
Mm-hmm.
Another situation. Wish I had a tank. Great time to teach a lesson. Probably would have flipped her over. And it would have been like, wow, I probably shouldn't have blown that yield sign. It's okay.
Yep.
She definitely is not in the best of health and probably won't live as long as me. So who's really winning? Did she get on the highway first? Yes. Might get in the casket first.
Wow. That's it's quite the
getting
take.
cut?
No, we'll leave it. That's all you. That's all you.
I said it.
I don't think I have much else more. Ratless, the people at golf who played too slow. It took us like
things on the sheet.
Yeah, I said both of these. Oh, I didn't even.
No,
I
you
forgot about this one.
didn't.
Yes, I forgot. I thought the other one. I thought I put the Vegas story on the sheet, but I didn't. Ratless Dunkin' seasonal flavors, just because it's stupid. Just have all the flavors. Just have them all. I think it's dumb. I mean, I'm not complaining. I like pumpkin spice. Is my thing. I'm a big fan of pumpkin spice flavor. I don't know if you've had the. It's called Nutty Pumpkin, which sounds weird, but
I've seen it. I do not get the flavored coffees from Dunkin'. I get the unsweetened ones. Too many calories.
They combine hazelnut and pumpkin, and it's very good. And that's what I've been getting lately. I think I have 2 on my desk right now that I finished that I need to throw away.
Do you remember when they had the peanut butter flavor last fall?
Mm-hmm.
And the coffee was fucking orange?
Yeah, it was not good.
You would get the coffee, and it was the color of a Reese's wrapper.
It was
it's
gross.
Like, oh, I'm not taking years off my life.
I don't understand. Do they like? They must have a marketing team that weighs it. Like they probably make more money because people are excited for it. But like you'd think they'd make. But you'd think they'd make just as much or more if people could just have it all year round. Because there's got to be some people who are like, oh, I'll just get pumpkin. I like it. Oh, they have it. Let's just get pumpkin. But I don't know. I just have all the fucking flavors. I think it's a rat.
See, I like when the coffee flavor is brewed into the coffee. I don't like the shots. I don't want them to put syrup in my coffee because it's like not really good. But like if they like bake it into the beans or whatever,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
It doesn't add any calories. Like it's not worse for you, and it's still just as good. You just put the sweeteners in. It's awesome. Like nothing beats it. I personally saw the maple sugar bacon sandwiches back, and let me tell you,
is that what you like?
I may have to break my routine to enjoy that because I'm a fan. I loved it last year. Yep, they got me. I might have to go get it.
Do you know what I've been getting at Dunkin'? Might get made fun of. The avocado toast at Dunkin', actually good.
See, I don't think that's filling enough.
I got two, and I got the one with bacon on top, so there was like a little extra thing.
But even then, like it's like you could have like 2 chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A probably for similar calories.
See, this is the difference. I don't fucking care about the calories. I'm not.
Yeah, but you'd be just as satisfied. You'd be more satisfied.
They're good. No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. I ate that in my coffee, and I was happy, and I was chilling. And then I had dinner.
I don't know. I know, like, chat rat list me because, like, I know, like, when the guy's like, hey, like, this is how many calories are in the thing you're eating. Like, it's never fun. Like, I
No.
ruined these snacks for my girlfriend. She was like, Costco has these, like whatever, like granola clusters. I love them. It's like my favorite snack. And I like looked at the bag. I'm like, every time you eat one of these, it's 100 calories. And she doesn't eat them anymore.
Rat list. Yes, absolutely.
No, I know I'm a scumbag, like piece of
Sam and
shit, like ruining
Sam
food
and I were
for people.
We were at Mohegan Sun, and we got Chick-fil-A. We just got a couple sandwiches. Sam was like, "Oh, I get House another one." I'm like, "Just get another one." He's like, "No, I'm out of calories."
I'm at my limit. Yeah, I was at my limit. I just slammed back a donut. You have to weigh these things.
I know. Chat has told me before. I'm not in shape. I'm a bit overweight. It's
the
fine.
The best thing is when like you know and you're in control of like, okay, like I can have this, I can have this. So like you're like, oh, I have calories left. I have 1,000 calories. I'm gonna eat a whole Pizookie by myself because I can.
No. I would rather be fat and happy than counting calories, and that's
I am
just
happy.
A different lifestyle. I know, and I'm happy.
Thrilled.
I know, and that's amazing. If I had to count calories, I would not be happy. I like food.
You would adjust to it. It's not easy at first.
Don't care. I'm out. I don't care. I'm happy with the way that I get to eat whatever I want and not give a shit. And I'm blissfully don't care. So that's the way I'm going to continue to be. I move slowly at basketball, but I get up and down the court. Actually, we played basketball. Ratless, the gym we play in. Yeah, Ratless, my glasses won for breaking, but Ratless, the gym we play in, because every time I thought I would make a shot, it would
last week at the gym, by the way. So we are
so
back at the other one. This week.
All right. No, I couldn't. I'll Ratless myself. I couldn't make a shot, but when I can't make a shot, and we've talked about this before, a lot of people will just like cherry pick on offense because they can't run. I do the opposite. I know I'm not running up with these motherfuckers. I know I can't run with these guys on offense. So I let Sam and I let my teammates run, and I just stay back on defense. And in my defense, I stopped a few fast breaks.
No, you did.
I got back there
the
and I played.
Night was your glass have been broken, so you're playing blind. And you throw like a great bounce pass to me on the break, and you didn't even mean to throw it to me. You're like,
to win the game.
Yeah, that was not meant for you.
No, I saw who I was supposed to. I was trying to pass it to Raul, and I saw him, and then I saw the lane close, and I saw defenders there. And I was like, oh shit! I turned away, and at the last second, I saw you sprint through and grab the pass and put it up. So everyone came up to me after like, awesome pass, and I'm just sitting there. I tell Sam, I said, Sam, that pass was not. That wasn't for you.
Yeah.
No, it was good though. That was a good game. Those were good runs. But yeah, that's all I got for the Rattles. You got anything else, or are we about done with the Rattles for today?
We're all done.
All right,
all done. I'm very hungry. So
I am too. Yeah. I am too. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate you very much. Make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics on YouTube. Go check out our latest game show and all the other videos we've been dropping lately. Daily videos, don't you worry.
Later today, First to the Floor will be there.
Yes, go tune into the stream. Go tune into CLNS and the First to the Floor channel. Check us out. Sam will probably kick my ass in trivia, but that's fine. Thank y'all for tuning in. Subscribe to How About Them Celtics. Leave us 5 stars on Apple and Spotify, and leave a comment. That's my favorite part of the day. I'll let Sam take us out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, you're on the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. How About Them Celtics? You can hit the notification bell so you don't miss any daily uploads. A lot of you have been missing them, unfortunately. But also, we're on CLNS, so make sure you find us there too. Leave a like, comments on all of the videos. We appreciate it very much. If you're just listening, we're on Apple and Spotify. You can follow us there. Leave a nice 5-star review. Say something nice. On social media, it's at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Our Facebook page is just the name of the podcast. You can find any stream we do there. You can follow Jack on Twitter at JackSmonNBA. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.